case. So you can think of class as also a container which can keep similar kind of activities or functionalities together just to get a particular job done. Now, similar doesn't mean it has to be similar. It can have different kind of classes and methods too. If you go in the raw definition of it, you can see that class can be used to create different methods or functions and use it according to our requirement. Okay, so let us start how to work with the class. We will write class as a keyword, space, in the name of the class. Once you're done with this, again, putting a parenthesis, not putting parenthesis is an optional thing. I'm just keeping the standards of putting the parenthesis here. Colon, enter. Now, in this, you can create anything. You can put anything. Right now, I'm just writing, say, print. Hello. Once you create a class, you simply run it like this. As you have seen that I'm printing hello, it is printing me hello like this. Now, to access anything inside the class, suppose I have variable 2. Say variable equals to 10. So what we will do, we will simply create an object. Now object is basically a variable only. So I'm creating a variable, and in this variable what I will put the name and parenthesis. Now this is the object of this particular class. The main thing that you need to understand inside the class is to access any functionality inside the class. You cannot really directly call it. You need to have an object, and by only using an object, you can access a variable method inside the class. So when I run object dot, if I press tab, I will see that variable is auto completing, means it has the variable. You run this, you will get the value. If you have say variable 1, variable say 9 for now, we are 2 for 8, running this, and let's put a tab here. You will see that you are seeing an option of variable 1, variable 2, and variable simple. So whichever variable you want to call, you can call it from here like this. Obviously, you can also create a variable, say v equals to, and whatever the object is, so object dot var, print the value of v, and you will see that you can catch this value inside a variable. So quite straightforward, simple with class part. Let me copy this. Let me put it here. In case you want to create a function inside a class, all you need to do, you will define, say, fun, put parenthesis. Now what you need to change here is you have to put a self here. Now self is just a variable, a keyword, you can say a parameter that you have to pass. Self is a name that we use in by standards, but again, it is not something that you have to use. You can use keep any variable name here, even as your own name is also okay, it doesn't matter. But standards are you have to use self, and it is easily understood by other developers too, which we required. So to make it simple, use self inside the parenthesis. Now, say I'm printing something inside this too. So print hello. Again, I have to put quotations. I am in function. And run this. Again, if I create an object which has name, run this object dot tab, you can see I am also seeing the fun name here. So fun is also there. All you need to do is select the fun, parenthesis. Now, again, because it's a function, you have to put a parenthesis there. If you run this, you will see that line, hello, I'm in function. The moment you execute it, you will see the output here. So how I hope you get the clarity on this, how to use a function and all those things. Let's let's copy these two cells, putting it here. What I'm doing here, I want to access the variable. I want to access the variable, say var. Okay. So if I want to access a variable which is inside the class and I want to access it with the function, again, as you can see, usually what we do, we directly write the name of the function and we can the variable name, we can access it. If I run this, okay, and running this, you will see the error var is not defined. Let me copy this. The variable is not defined. That is the error that you are getting here. To overcome this, all you need to do, let me put this again, copy. To overcome this, let's use self in front of it, and you're getting the value 10 here. So again, if you want to access a value which is inside the class, you have to use self in front of it. And that is how you access the variable. So this is the restriction that you have to follow while creating a function and variable inside the class. So what if I define a variable inside the class only? Taking the same class, okay, finding variable in the class, sorry, in the function. Let's do it. So I want to define a variable. So what I will do, I'll simply use it like this. Say name it as fun variable. So let's make it small, fun underscore var, and we have given a value of 100 to it. So what I want to do, I want to print this value too. So say I just use a comma and obviously I have to write something. So printing and put a comma here. Say fun underscore var. Running this, again I have to create the object and all those. So I will copy the same steps. Let's not kill the time on this. Copy and paste it. You already have the output. So I'm just running this, and as you can see, I'm getting variable as 100. So in case you have the main gist of this is that in case you have a variable inside the function and you're calling that function only, you don't have to use self there. You will only use self keyword in a scenario. Again, it's not a keyword, it's just again a way of calling it. So you will only use self in the case where you see that you have to call it from the class where it is not defined inside the function. So you are calling it from inside the function, and it is described in the class only but not in the function. So it is not local for the function. So if the value is not local for the function, you will call it like this. So you will use self and the variable name, and if it is inside the function only, you will just write the function name, so the variable name, and run it. You will get the output like this. So I hope it clears the logic. Make sure that you do the practical for this and you get the idea. Moving ahead. But again, in case you want to simply use this code, so let me pick the code again. Put it here. So you want to just function variable and print. Let's make it big. So you pick function variable and print it in the class. So let's not worry about too much over the line. Let's start with the coding part. So what I will do, I will simply, let's make it like this so it is better. And I already have the variable. So all I want to do is print fun out of function print of local variable and putting a comma there and fun. And as you can see, you will see the fun variable is not defined. Let me also give you a clarity. The moment you run it, so as the error says, name fun variable is not defined here. So as you can see, when I am trying to print this function variable out of my class or function, basically not out of the class, but out of the function body, and it is a local variable for the function, it is not allowing me to print it. So this is the limitation that you have to mind. Now, can we really print it with something else? Is there any way to print this? So, and that is again, do we really need to print any variable out of the function? Do we really need to do this? What we can do, we can create a object like this. Once we are done with the creating the object, what we can do, we can call the function. Okay. Again, variable is not available. So let me remove this. I don't want to print this at the moment. So let's do this. Run this again. So rather than running this, let me keep it as it is. Let me copy it in a new cell. Make a new cell below. Put it here. This time I'm deleting this line. Okay. So I don't have any confusion there. I'm running this, and this. So if you want to call a variable which is inside the function, you can simply print it like this. No issue with that. But if you want to put it out of the body of the function, it will not work that way. So that is the limitation. I hope you got the limitation too. It is very important to check the limitation with the functionality, where we can use something, where we cannot use something, which this limitation is very important to understand. So let's move forward. Now let us discuss about something called magic function or a constructor. To slash magic function, which is underscore in it. Let's discuss about this. When you create a class, say my class is A for now, Okay, colon. I can define an init function. So init the underscore bracket self is compulsory and whatever you want to do, and enter, say print hello. Let me make it hello init. And after doing this, what I'm doing, I'm also assigning few variables. So say v equals to, let's not assign right now. Let's just try this first. And let me also create a function which is define, say f for now. And I'm seeing a self again inside this and just taking, say, also print something. So hello f, I am in f, and let's press enter. I think this is more than enough for now. Let's run this. Let's create an object. So I'm creating an object again, and this object is, say, obviously the name of the class, running it, then object dot, when I press tab, it is clearing me. So again, I can create the function. One thing where you have to notice there, that the moment you create the object, the line that was inside the print, it sorry, the init, it was printed. So in the line inside the constructor will launch the moment you create the function. That indicates that anything that is inside this particular constructor is getting initialized the moment you create the object of that class. So constructor basically initialize anything that you have put it, whatever the script you have written there inside the init function, the moment you create the object of this class. So that is why you see hello init, but you don't see hello I am in f. That is not there. If you write this here and run it, you will see hello I am in f. So you get the idea. It will run on the spot. So the moment you initialize, in value, the moment you create the object of the class. I think you get the idea here. So moving forward, object.f, and I'm just creating the hello I am in app, and I'm moving forward. Now, after doing all this, so let us take a variable here. So the L is extra, I don't need a L here. Let's, okay. So again, so if I want to create a variable, suppose, so let me copy this again. So let us copy cells, same fashion, and mark down cell that says init with variables. So when you want to put a variable here, what you will do? Obviously, in it you will define var equals to 1, say 100 again. And if I want to use this variable inside this, I have to use self dot var. That part is quite clear. Now you will see something when I run this, that you will observe this error. Now a object has no attribute as var. Now a object is basically your object that you have created. An object has no variable, no attribute, that is called var. Now why it is saying this? Because you have this value inside in it. Okay, now this var is not accessible by this function. Why? The reason is that we don't have the self. Again, let me put it like this. I'm moving self here. So initially we saw the error is that we don't know the var. To overcome this in the initial stages, what we did, let me copy, paste, we put it self here. Okay, but still you see the error. What you need to do exactly here is that you have to put a self here dot and self here. Okay, and you won't see any error. The thing is that if you're using it inside the init, the self is the only thing that is pointing towards the object. So when you define self here, it is now start pointing to the object, and that is why you are able to access the var value. If you just put self here, it will not work. So again, let me also write the markdown cell. Use self in init. Okay, and run this. Let me also put here that we need to is value even after self in function like before. And let me make it not able to access. So moving forward, so you get the idea how to use self and init all the functions. Let's move forward and create a exercise. So let's do an exercise for this. For class, let me make it a little bigger so it is better. And here what I'm doing, I'm writing a class say sum. I'm writing you 2 amps, so I don't use a keyword. And what I want to do, I want to create a function inside this that adds the value that I'm giving to it. So I will take self, obviously, comma a, comma b. Now, if I want to take two values, I have to give in two values separately. Self is not counted as a variable. Okay, so it is again something that is pointing towards the object. You don't you have to write self, but you cannot really catch a value in self. You need to pass two values here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to return a plus b. Okay, writing this class, creating the object again. So object equals to sum. Okay, running this, then object dot add, calling the function. If I have to call the function, I have to give the values. So 3 comma 4 is the value, and I'm getting 7 out of it. So I hope you get the idea that you can pass the value like this. So this is how the way you pass a value, and this is the output you're getting out of it. Now, getting back to the topic again, guys, you can do this with the function. Can we do the same thing in it? Again, can we do the same part with init? That is again the return function value. Let me make it smaller. It is getting too big. So just make it decent. And let's try the same code again. So guys, doing this copying and pasting again, save some time here, pasting it and writing the name of the function as init. Okay, and trying to return a value here. So let us try it again, and you can see that both are given to it are given a and b. Now init missing two again. I have to pass the value. I missed that part. 1 second. If I'm doing it here, I have to pass the argument here only. Now, return none, not init. Okay, init should return none value, not integer. Now this is the type error that you're getting. Initially the error that you saw was for the value. So if you're doing it in init, guys, again, need to mind this, that when you launch a init, okay, when you launch a init, the moment you launch it, the moment you create the object, it's initialize everything. So it will initialize, it will try to initialize a and b too, but no value is given to a and b. In that case, it will get an error that you have to put some value there. Now this is why you have to pass some value while you're creating the object here. Okay, but again, init cannot return anything. That is something you need to mind. Okay, moving forward, creating init without return. Okay, what I'm doing here, I'm just removing the written part that I have seen that is not working for me. What I will do, I will simply print here a plus b, and let's remove this part. Okay, still you have to pass some value while you're creating the object when you have this. Okay, if you try it without it, let me give an example. So when you when you pass no value in it. Okay, let's run this, and let's not use any value for now. Okay, you will see the error that init is missing with the value. This is the error you will get. Okay, position argument is missing. So what you need to do here, you have to use same piece of code with the value, say 3 and 5 again. And when you run this, you will see init should not return the not integer. Let me check if the return is still there. Let me, I think this particular cell is not run. Let me check it again. Okay, there is something. Okay, my bad. Forget that it is not having the add function. So add function not there. It is giving me the correct error, not required. This is the what I was looking for. This is my output. So if you don't give a value, you will get this error. If you pass it like this, you will not get error. So can we pass it in a way that we don't get the error when you are not passing any value? So let me put it like this. Can we pass no value in it without the error? Let's try it some in a way. So what I want to try, let me copy this, let me paste it. I hope I'm picking the right code here. And what I'm trying to do here, right now I'm getting the error. So can I give one here and say one here and see if it is working for me? So as you can see, I'm getting the result. Can I also give values and get the result? Yes. So thing is, when you use a settled value, a constant value here, you won't be seeing the error there. So in case you're creating a class or function, this work for function only. So as you can see, it's a function only. So in case you're creating a function and you observe that you have a value that might not be there. So in case the value is not given to it, it will not give you an error. It will try to execute whatever the constant value you're defining here, and will provide you that result. Again, you can also use 0 and 0, so you will get the result as 0 here. So anything that you want to put as a default, you can use here. So I hope you get the idea that how to do this and how to achieve a particular goal. So let us do an exercise that clear all the thoughts that we have for class. So let's create a method. So as per the method, I am creating calculator. What I will do, if you write the problem statement, it will be like take the input from user and choice of operation, and as per the choice, call the function from the class. Quite straightforward, like before. So first of all, I'll create a class that is cal, same, and we'll do some functionality in this. I will provide some functionality in this. I want to provide some, okay, subtraction, addition, and all this functionality. So what I'm writing here is say define sum, and it will take some value obviously. So obviously it's in a class, so I will write self comma a comma b. I will do the same variable name. I use the same variable name for each and every function. And here I just want to return, because we are using return, we cannot write this inside the init function. That is something you need to mind. Now I'm writing a plus b and return the value, right? So I think the functionality will be same for all. So let's again do the copy and pasting part. Four function, four things, that is all. And what I'm doing here, I will simply make it subtraction to su b, subtract the value, mul for multiplication, and just multiply the value for that, subtract, let's add, then adding is already there, divide then. Suppose we call the functionality, okay, so sum, define, and divide, and multi, and sub, for the different kind of functionality that we have uh, introduced in this class. What I want to do next is that I want to make it a loop kind of thing. So I want to create a loop that in which I will ask the user for the choice, and as per the choice, I will simply put the call the functionality out of the class. Okay, so definitely I have to create an object of the class. That is one thing that I have to do. Second, I need to create a while loop for this. So there are a number of ways we can do it inside this too. We can also write the while loop inside the init function or something like that. There can be n number of ways. But right now, what I'm doing, I'm coming out of the class. I'm writing a function. Say not even a function, just a script. Will I will call the while loop and call the functionality accordingly. So let's make it quite simple and straightforward. Then we can update it later. So for that, I will simply write a while loop. While true always, I want to take the input. So num1 equals to int input, and first number equals to some space. So it looks good. As we know, you have to use the same line in the second part too. So I will go move forward, go back, print it, and again. And for the third part, let's make it choice, same fashion. And in the choice, I want to choose what I want to do with the what kind of functionality I want to choose. Again, let's write it. Let's take an integer only then. Let's make it simpler. Put okay and say I will print my dictionary. Okay, I have to define my dictionary then. Say print choose your operation for now to make it easy and a space. Then let's create a dictionary here. The dictionary will be quite straightforward. Again, one key, the value is one for add, comma, two for subtract, comma, three for multiply, four for I think division is left. Quite straightforward. And let's also give the input of say 5 for say quit. Now I will take ask the user if he wants to quit or not, something like that. Obviously, before that we have already taken the input. So after taking the input, it is quite not obvious the person will quit. Okay, so to make it little decent, let's put it above it. And once the user choose the option, what option he wants to do, we have it in the choice. We take the number 1 and 2. Obviously, if someone choose to quit, we have to check it right here. So if the choice is, so say let me put it after this wrong position. I will put it right after this. If choice is equals to say 1, so the 5, just break for me. That's it. In case if we're not choosing here this particular choice, we will take the input number 1, number 2. As per the number 1 and number 2, whatever the option here is chosen. Okay, if choice is equals to 1, okay, I will do something, and that something is addition. So again, before this I should be having an object of class. So let's have an object equals to, the class name is cal, so I will write cal like this. Now I have an object to, and say after this I will call the object dot, first is addition, and let's me say its name is sum. So I will call sum, and definitely have to pass the number. So number 1, let's make it number 2, number 1, and comma. I have passed the value. I will get the output. So result will be this, right? So I have this result, and this should pretty much work. I don't think any issue is there. So moving forward, copying and pasting it. A lot of correction is required here. So LF choice is equals to, again I have to change choice. It will be 2 this time. Return on result, spelling is wrong. Let me make it result properly. And is not sum this time, obviously. For second, it is subtraction. For subtraction, we have to call sub. I will call sub, pass these two values, and it will give me the result. And after this, I have to do the same step again. So again, copy it, go back, paste it, go back, paste it, and the choice will be then 3, then 4, and the function name will be in multiplication. I have to write mul if I'm recalling the name right. We'll check that later, but let's make it LUM div for now. And MUL div IV is the name. Okay. So this is my name. This is my name, and I have chosen again. If I check the flow, it will check. It will print the dictionary. After that, it will ask if the user want to make a choice. The choice will be there. User will choose. Okay, if he wants to quit again, E is not required here. And if you want to quit, no issue, just break. If you choose 5, we will directly break, and all the inputs will be integer. That is obviously for sure thing. And moving forward, if it is not breaking, we'll take the number 1, number 2 as an input. So number 2 is the name, and it should be like second number. Okay, once the number is taken, the object is taken, object of class created. We check the if condition. By if, I'm checking all the choices, and just in case someone gives something else, I will just write a else, print, enter a valid choice. Perfect. So up to this level, I think it is okay. And if someone choose to quit, let's this time make it a little decent more. So let's write a line, you know thanks for using or the dot bracket, put a smiley here, go back, just one, delete it, and comma. This should do. Obviously, I'm seeing an issue here, and to remove this issue, I will write single quotation here, single quotation here, just to make it a little more, user friendly and something like that. So just to make it a little better, not a boring code but a decent code here. And this should do. I think this should do. And let me check it once more. I have classes, I have this. So let me run this and this. So it is asking for what choice I want to make. I want to add, I will write number 3 and then 4. Choose the operation again. Okay, I'm not printing the output. That is one mistake I've just checked. Let's quit for now. Thanks for using my calculator. It is working so far pretty well up to this point. I think it is quite decent right at this moment. Choose the operation is okay. So and let's me print the result then. So result has to be at the end, I believe. So whatever the result is, I will print it at the end. So after all the choices has been done, I will print the result, or I can return the result too. But in return, it will simply, it is not a function, so I will not return it. Obviously not. So your result is equals to some space there, I believe. Perfect. A comma and just put a result variable here. Let's see if it is working. So choices, I want to say subtract, give 23, say give 20 this time. The result is 3. Choose the operation. Okay, it is looking good right now. Few correction that I like to have. Again, not a correction, just to make it a little decent. And next line will be great at this point. Okay, so let us run again. Say add value I'm adding is 23 and 32. I'm getting 55. Okay, a decent space here. A result is there, and I think it will do. It will do for me. And slash n here too, just to keep a little more space. Yeah. So let me run this again. I think it is running yet running, but not showing the output. So let me run it again. Okay, not working. Now both are in the waiting, I believe. Yes, if they are waiting. So let me stop this. Let me run this and this again. Let's say I want to multiply this time, and value is 2, 3, result is 6. Choose your operation. Again, it is giving me the options. Again, I think this is decent enough. This much is more than decent, so I'm okay with this. So let's conclude this. So guys, all you need to do, all I have done here, let me quit here first, otherwise not leave that. So all I've done here is all I've done here is basically just write it in the code. So this is my class. All the functionality is here. Once the functionality is done, again, guys, you can add more functionality to it. So whatever you think you can add to the function, you can add it. You can also create multiple classes, guys. So again, a very good idea is if you want to do multiple functionality, you can create multiple classes. You write the function side it, you create multiple object, and then call the object according to the requirement or according to the choice of the user. So you might want to print the text in a different way. He wants to add something, he wants to slice the string, he wants to check the length or something like that, or maybe he wants to do something apart from this calculation. So whatever he wants to do, you can pick that thing, you can give the result, and create a very decent software kind of thing. So hope you like the particular project here, and try it, see what you can do, see the results, how well you are performing. Try all these things. So thank you. This is all for the video, and see you in the next video. Then make sure you prepare the whole project by yourself. Once you see the code, don't copy paste it. Do something unique. Try something new. That will be great. And see you in the next video. Thank you.